On September 6th we had a full moon in Pisces, which seemed to many like a gasp of relief after what was an intense prior few months. These energies will continue to affect us for quite some time as well, so while I don't normally write about astrological topics, I felt compelled to in this instance for a couple of reasons. I want to touch on the importance of how to use things like astrology in a healthy way that doesn't negate personal responsibility or agency. I wanted to create greater awareness around how to turn within to reflect on what these various energetic times actually mean for us and how we can make the most of them. Right after the eclipse, I began seeing a lot of posts on social media about people feeling a number of different physical, mental, and spiritual symptoms. People were talking about feeling tired, dizzy, sick, and extremely emotional. Some people mentioned they were crying several times a day or feeling highly motivated to act on passions they suddenly felt immensely clear on. What does this all mean? To put it simply, big changes are here, and they are going to continue to arise in your life, whether you are ready for them or not. We can choose to ride this wave of energy and do some deep inner work, or we can avoid it and continue to fight it, much like we may have done earlier in the year. I want to be clear, I'm not saying that the astrological condition is the only thing pushing you in to have these experiences. I'm simply saying it's an ingredient in this dish, and it does have an impact on it. We explore in great detail the effect of our solar system on our lives in our latest documentary. But let's jump back and reflect for a moment. How has your 2017 felt overall up until now? I have talked to hundreds of people about this, and also to our in-house astrologer Carmen DeLucio, as he interacts with people every day about this topic, and it has become clear that we've been having an intense year, one filled with a great push to reflect internally, shift, and realign. If I had to sum up what not only I have been experiencing this year, but also what the people I have been speaking to have been experiencing as well, the message would be, you can't run or hide from your stuff or the things you need to address in your life anymore. Whether that be having to address your own ego stories, old patterns, or bad habits, or moving on from projects, people, or ideas that you had that are no longer serving you, the time is now. And the first 3 quarters of this year have been intense for it. Relief finally? I use the term relief lightly here, and it may not be for the reason you think. I'll admit it has been a stressful year for me, but I also know I create that stress in my life just as we all do in ours. It's never someone else's fault. We always have the control and power within ourselves to move past the things that are bothering or triggering us. It might be easy to blame one person or another, but I can promise you, they are in your life for a reason and are showing you something about yourself. The faster we come to terms with that and start doing our inner work, the faster we move on and evolve. Our personal evolution does not have to be a slow, grueling process. It's all about how much or how little you resist. It's easy to get into a space where we blame all our challenges on astrological conditions and never actually look at them, instead saying I'm emotional due to Mercury retrograde and wiping our hands clear of personal responsibility. But in reality, Mercury retrograde might be shining a greater amount of light on the challenges within you so you can see them more clearly. The inevitable result is that you feel them more strongly too. With that said, the desire for relief is a feeling that comes when we really want out of a situation or want to break from something, and oftentimes it's due to how we might be judging or categorizing a situation. While it's always beautiful to rest, I wanted to stress the fact that, more often than not, our desire for relief is a response to the extra stress we create for ourselves through certain thoughts and feelings, and thus what we're really looking for are tools and a means to move through our challenges that are arising, not relief so we can simply bury them again. As Carmen spoke about in the articles he published on the solar eclipse and the last full moon we had on September 6, 2017, they seem to create a sense or feeling of energetic relief about how hard we've been pushed to look at the various challenges we have to overcome that ultimately push us into greater alignment with ourselves. Regarding the full moon specifically, Carmen says, this has been a time of changes, insights, adjustments, and setting ourselves up for new beginnings that will develop over the coming weeks and months. This first week of September, in which the full moon is occurring, is especially insightful and developmental when it comes to how we are to proceed forward. However, although we may have some increased clarity and forward momentum, there will still be some confusion around details until we start the next moon cycle on September 20th. For some people, this could also be about making your life more efficient, organized, and productive, as well as cleaner, purer, and healthier. As for the latest solar eclipse and its lasting energy, he offers this to reflect on: what is your heart telling you to create at this time? What steps can you take to help you in fulfilling your passions? What possibilities out there currently excite you and perhaps make you feel more free? What is getting in the way of you expressing your heart more? In what area of your life do you need to be the king, queen, or superstar? How can you express yourself in ways that are more innovative, authentic, and reflective of who you truly are? It's time for great change in the end. It's time for great change, and it has been for a while actually. What these astrological conditions do is help bring what's in the unconscious mind to the conscious mind more clearly and more easily, supported by environmental energy. I made a film back in 2012 called The Collective Evolution 3, the shift that outlines exactly how important and incredible the times we are living in truly are. We are not simply having a small revolution in thinking, but experiencing a change that has not happened before in our modern human memory. Our world is and will continue to change so greatly that we won't even recognize it compared to what we see today. We all play a role in this, and we can either fight it and resist it, or flow with it and create a world where we can thrive. Change starts within, and it's time to start embracing that.